Alright everybody, welcome to the spellbook tutorial and glyph casting for Mage VR Reborn. I pretty much finished the books and the spell glyph casting, and I decided to make this tutorial for helping explaining all the features the book have, which is quite a lot. Okay, first of all, when you actually start install it, you're gonna have a VR spellbook token that's gonna show up in your inventory that you can equip. So if you put it in your left hand, you can have that small token inside your hand. You can put it in any VRK holsters where you can put a dagger on, and it's going to be placed there afterward. You pull it out, and you currently have your spellbooks that's going to show up in front of you. As you can see, the spellbook have 10 tabs at the top. You have all your schools tab, and you have your favorite scroll, power, shout, and enchantment. Whenever you pull your VR spellbook, the favorite tab always going to be the first one to show up, mainly because it's make it easy to have all your favorite spells show up on those pages and pull them out of the book and quickly use them. So if you end up in combat and you don't have the proper equipped spells, it's a favorite spells, all you have to do is pull your book, grab the spell, and now you have it in your hand. And you can cast whatever you need. You can just grab another spell. You can have it in your hand, and you can have all the spells that you can use, scroll or whatever, in that page to switch them quickly during combat if that's how you want to use it. As you can see, you have some 3D preview on top of each of those spells, the same one that show up in your menu. Now, the tab themselves, as you can see, those ones are fairly easy. This is the schools of magic for each, and I'm gonna explain the features for each one of those. So as you can see, this is a card spells. You got 8 per page. If you're looking here, you got 3 page. I have 2 page of destruction schools spells. You can sort them out by name. If I'm looking at the middle here, you have some kind of a menu. You can sort the spells by name, by mastery, by type. Now, whatever would you like to see them first. You can set any of the spells as a favorite. So click on a spell, and you show it there, and you set favorite. It's now going to show up in your favorite page, right here. Now, the card himself. As you can see, there's a couple of things that need to be informative about the spell itself. You get the name, you get the type of spell you have, cloak, projectile, whatever. The amount of spell cost, MP cost per seconds or per cast, that's going to show up on top. You got an icon, you got whatever's the mastery level of that spells, and then you got a small description. The description is 5 lines long. So if you have something that have more than 5 lines, like those 3 right here from the arcane schools, it's not going to show. One of the thing is all of this is using exactly what's inside the book. So if you have a different language, it will show all those language properly. And then you have your set glyph. Set glyph is how you're gonna set your glyph for casting it with your hand and drawing glyph. Before I show you that, here the menu in the middle. So as you can see, you got your sorting on top, the favorite. You got your page switch. So you simply go left and right, and you got your page changing, and you can just do that with it. You have 2 other features with hide and delete. If for some reason there's a spell you don't want, like if we go in the illusion schools, there's often stuff about other ability. If I go here, there's a lot I hidden before. I click on hide, and all of them is gonna come back. But if I click on one and I want this one to disappear, I can click on hide, and it's gonna be removed from the page, just to keep the place clean and don't have that many spells that is useless for us to show up all the time. Alright. Okay, now if I want to set the glyph, as you can see, Arcane Light Bolt have a glyph. If I want a glyph set for a spell, I can just click on set glyph. The middle menu is not going to show up. It's going to change to all the main icon, the main glyph that you need to cast to bring this up. So you can choose one. And then you're going to have your secondary glyph, the 4th one. Each 4 of those can be actually used and connected. As you can see, it's been adding all of them, so I can have all 5 if I wanted to. and all four of the glyph are now used as a secondary glyph to cast this arcane mist. Now you have cast left or equip left, cast right or equip right. This is to tell you or decide what happened to your glyph, whichever you casted on that hand. If I do the glyph on my right hand, it will cast it. If I click here and I do the glyph on my left hand, it's gonna equip it in that left hand. It's a way to decide how what the casting is gonna do in which hand, depending on the way you do it. You click accept, and now you can see that the glyph has been set up, and you can see it's left cast, right cast, left equip, and right cast. And if you want to change that, you can just click on it again, and now you can redo this. And now and if you cancel, it's gonna go back to your old glyph sign that you have there. And this is pretty much how you set up a glyph for all the spell you have in your book. You go to scroll, same thing goes for scroll. You have exactly like the spells, but you can set a glyph for it. And instead of having a spell, the amount of MP cost per scroll, it just tells you how many you have in your bag. So if you use too many of those, as you can see, you got whatever is showing up in your inventory that's going to show up here. You can set the glyph for it. Oh, it's not working. I'm going to have to fix that. But yes, so you're going to be able to set glyph and cast a scroll exactly like you can cast the spells. You have powers, right? So those powers are exactly the same as any of the other one. So if you use you look at the powers you have here, I have open quick menu on and I put a glyph for it. I can use any of the power exactly the same way I would use any of the power that in any games. And I can hide them, I can do the same thing as a normal spell with them, which is not a problem. So except the big difference is that it's not telling you how many MP you're using, because it doesn't. It's pretty much a timer on it. Shout. Okay, so shout itself is a little bit different. As you can see, the spell card for the shout, I have the name for shout, but instead of spells, tell you how long the cooldown is for each one of the words you're using. As you can see, I have 3 learned word and 2 that have been unlocked. The third one, I have not unlocked it yet. It is in gray, and the other 2s are black to tell me I can use it. Shouting is a bit different. You cannot use glyph for using shout, but there is a difference mechanism for it. If you use shout, I actually added some kind of like grab features for it. So if you put your hands out, you grab and you pull back, you hold it a little bit, you should hear the first word of that shouting, and when you release, push and release grab at the same time, it will cast the shout in the direction that your hands are pushing. If your hands are pushing up high, it will send the shout high. If you're pushing down low, the shout's going to go low. It's a way to control it. So we're not using a controller. So as an example, I go here, and my shout just went out. And it's a way for using it more interactive way. So you can have spells equipped, you can have sword equipped, and you don't have to use like another bottom. You just can do that movements, and your shout's gonna go out wherever your hands are pointing, or the direction from your chest to forward to where you're shooting that shout. Okay. Now, let's go and cast some spells to show you how the glyph work. So glyph casting is fairly simple. You have 2 options for in the mod configuration. 4 new settings gonna show up inside Mage VR itself. So if you go to the setting, you're gonna have now 4 of those things. Casting bottom hand. This is mainly to tell you like if you can use your right hand bottom casting mode for both drawing from the left and the right hand. The left hand bottoms, both hands. So if you click on your right bottoms or the left bottom, you can cast on both hands with it, or independent. I like independent better because it allows me to cast with one hand to normal spells and do glyph on the other hand without interrupting my other hand that's actually casting spells. casting bottom, which one you want. Casting bottom, if you want it the same on the left and the right, or you can actually decide what's going to be the other one on the left hand, and you got which bottoms you're going to use as a trigger. And there will be one more setting that's going to come up just to make the VR spellbook token draw in your inventory in case you lose it. Now, casting is simple. As I say, I'm using the A bottom for casting on the right or on the left. If I click on the right, as I use independent, I can only draw a glyph on the right hand. And then when I click on the left hand, left bottom for draw casting, I can only draw with the left hand. Now, if you cast it simple, you hold the casting bottom, you click on, in my case, it's A bottom, you click on trigger, and now you can start drawing whatever glyph you do. So the first thing you need to do is a main glyph. I did my first line, so this is the one for fire spell. If I released it, the glyph itself show up, and I now have the cast in my hand. Now, I can do any type of one. I think this is my spell one, and depending on what you're casting, they can have different symbols, different type of glyph they're gonna show up for them, and yeah, that's pretty much it. So that was an equip, and if I go frenzy, I do this and I release it, it's gonna cast what you're looking at, so the center of your headset. So if your headset is a bit low, you gotta make sure it's center so you're casting at the right location. Now, another feature I added is dual casting. So if you put your casting bottom, it's one of the things where it's useful to maybe use it on one hand, because then you can draw with both hands, but I like independent, so I have to hold the bottom for casting on both hands. I got to draw simultaneously, and you can see I got two glyphs showing up in front of me. If I release, now I just did the dual casting, so both glyphs can be activated at the same time, and I can now dual cast my spells right live. This can be useful for skin spells. I know it's when you go up in alteration level, you can dual cast skin spells, and it will be available for your whole party if you actually use those as casting instead of equip. Well, if you dual cast together, it will use the dual cast function instead of single casting, which is quite useful for, well, better spells and do them live without having to equip on both hands or removing what you have in your hand. If you do dual casting, you have to make sure all the movements are together. If I just remove this, I didn't do the left hand, as you can see, the left one just fell for me. If I had something on this one for the right hand, then at this point I will be able to cast this, but it won't be a dual cast anymore. If you do a glyph that have nothing, it simply disappears and there's nothing for it. Okay. Then you have summon casting. If you cast a summon, you're gonna cast it on the floor. As you can see, the wolf took around 2-3 seconds to show up, right? So this is a way to usually when you cast a summon, you have to hold it in your hand for little build up spells. As casting with glyph doesn't do that, then when you cast it on the floor, that's when the delay happens. It's not gonna show up right away. And as the delay is longer for your hand, the delay is gonna be longer from the portal to have the summon show up. Just to make it more realistic. And this is it for most of the features as of right now. Yes, another thing I want to show you. You can also, for dual casting, in case you wanna cast spell with your left hand and draw glyph on your right hand. As I say, if you do both independent, you can cast on your left hand, you can draw on your right hand, and the spells that you draw with your right hand still gonna cast while you're using your spell in your left hand. So now you can you can draw glyph from the right hand, and it doesn't matter if you have a weapon equipped too. If you have there, and I got let's just say a rapier, I keep right. I can still cast my spell while I got a weapon equipped. So this is it's the same as Mage VR. No difference for that. Now, Last one features I want to show you all is the stats page. So stats, right? As you play in the game, if you go to state, usually for spells, you can have enchantments gonna show up on your left. I had it some kind of like stat page that show up HP, magic, staminas, and regens, and resist, and also if you have some in the survival one, you're gonna have this information down there. And this is pretty much to show you like all the stuff that's happening with your own character. If I heat something, I'm gonna have some green stuff that's gonna show up, which are positive effect with the timers on it. Now, if you have negative effect, those also gonna show up, but they're gonna be in red instead of that. Now, another thing I have, there's a spell here called Arcane Insight that you can equip. It's not in the spell scope of anything. The only place you can find it in the state page. So if you have any type of NPCs or creatures, you can take the spell, cast it on those creatures, and as you can see now you have the information of the creatures you cast it on for the next 30 seconds. That's gonna show up in your stat page. And as you can see, he have some spells on him too, which is giving less effectiveness for some reason. So enchantment on creatures and NPC also gonna show up here. It's a good way to actually figure out information on NPCs around you. And this is pretty much it for the Mage VR spell. So I hope you guys enjoyed it and you can learn from it. And I hope this is something you're gonna be able to use quite a lot. Give me feedback, tell me what's wrong, what could be better, and what could be done. And I'll be working soon on the lockpick system for it, as it seems to be like they're really demanding features that people want to have soon. Alright, thank you everybody.